A disgruntled employee identified as Connor Sturgeon, 25, killed 5 people in a mass shooting at a bank in Louisville, Kentucky, before being shot dead on the scene. The shooting unfolded at around 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning at the Old National Bank near Slugger Field in downtown Louisville when officers responded to reports of a possible active shooter. Louisville Metro Police Department confirmed that 5 people were killed, while 8 others, including a police officer, were taken to hospital for their injuries. Footage posted on social media revealed gunshots ringing out as officers stormed the bank building while bank workers reportedly took shelter in the vault. 2 survivors said that Monday's gunshots first broke out in a ground floor conference room at the bank. "Whoever was next to me got shot, blood is on me from it," one man said, pointing to his shirt. A damaging batch of documents leaked from the Pentagon appears to have been initially shared on a video game chatting Discord in an effort to win an argument about the war in Ukraine. This is not the first time that a dispute between gamers has sparked an intelligence breach, with the overlapping communities causing problems for military and intelligence services. The existence of the leaked cache was exposed as documents showing estimated casualties in the Bakhmut theater of battle began circulating on public social networks last week. 2 versions of the documents exist, one of which had the correct figures and stemmed from a leak to 4chan, the alt-right social media platform. A second falsified version, with edited images, was passed around pro-Russian Telegram channels. Neither was the original source, however. In one Discord server, called Minecraft Earthmap, 10 of the documents were posted as early as the 4th of March, a month before they appeared on 4chan. 3 women are suing social media influencer Andrew Tate for damages over allegations he raped and abused them. The women first made complaints to police 8 years ago, but say detectives failed to investigate the allegations properly before dropping the case. One said, to have seen Andrew Tate's rise in popularity and influence, while knowing who he is and what he has done, has been extremely difficult for those of us who were sexually and physically abused by him. We intend to prove in court that Andrew is abusive, coercive and controlling, and that his public statements about women are nothing more than fantasy. Tate denied their accusations and said through his legal team they wanted money because I fired them. Hertfordshire police began investigating the women's allegations in 2015 and arrested Tate 3 times on suspicion of raping 2 women and assaulting a third. The case was abandoned 4 years later with no further action, and the force apologized for delays in the investigation. The father of a Russian girl who drew an anti-war picture has been arrested again after fleeing the country. The Kremlin tracked him down in Belarus after he turned on his cell phone. Alexei Moskalyov was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for discrediting the army after his daughter drew an anti-war picture at school. But hours before a court was meant to hand down the 2-year sentence, Moskalyov unexpectedly fled house arrest and went off-grid. A few days later he was detained in Minsk, Belarus, because he turned on his cell phone, giving away his location, his lawyer said. Since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year, the Kremlin has been cracking down on anyone who criticizes the war. His 13-year-old daughter refused to participate in patriotic classes at school and drew the picture featuring the illegal words "No to War" and "Glory to Ukraine." It is now likely that Mr. Moskalyov will face additional years in prison for fleeing Russia while on house arrest. Meanwhile, his daughter was taken from an orphanage by a woman posing as her estranged mother. The U.S. airman accused of leaking confidential intelligence and defense documents has been officially charged in a court appearance in Boston. Jack Teixeira, 21, wore shackles and a prison uniform as he stood before a federal judge on Friday. After a shout of "Love you, Jack" from a person in the courtroom, the defendant replied, "You too, Dad." Mr. Teixeira faces up to 15 years in prison over charges of unauthorized transmission of defense information. He is also charged with the unauthorized removal and retention of classified documents. The airman faces up to 10 years in prison for the first charge, and up to 5 years in prison for the second. The dozens of leaked documents had revealed U.S. assessments of the war in Ukraine as well as sensitive secrets about American allies. The leaks embarrassed Washington and raised fresh questions over the security of classified information. 14 smart motorways will be removed from government road building plans due to a lack of public confidence and financial pressures, the Department for Transport has said. Smart motorways are a stretch of road where technology is used to regulate traffic flow and ease congestion. They also use the hard shoulder as an extra lane of traffic, which critics claim has led to many road deaths. The existing smart motorways, which make up 10% of England's motorway network, will remain but will be refitted to add more emergency stopping places. But 14 planned smart motorways, including 11 that had already been paused and 3 earmarked for construction, will now not be built. Smart motorways were intended to create more capacity and cut congestion without the expense and disruption caused by building new motorways. However, they have been heavily criticized by MPs and road safety campaigners, including the AA and RAC. Fierce clashes have been reported across Sudan as fighting between rival armed factions continues to spread. The escalation came on the second day of clashes between the army and rapid support forces paramilitaries, which have now left at least 59 dead. The Sudanese army said it had taken hold of RSF bases in Port Sudan, Kassala, Khartoum, Demazin, and Kosti. The RSF claimed to occupy sites in Omdurman and Darfur, as well as Moro Airport in the north. But later accounts indicated that the army had regained control of the airport, with the military saying they were dealing with small pockets of rebels. Witnesses said that the army appeared to be gaining the upper hand in the country's power struggle after blasting RSF bases with airstrikes. Earlier, the two sides observed a temporary humanitarian ceasefire to allow the wounded to be evacuated. Sudan was the largest country in Africa until civil war led to the secession of South Sudan in 2011.